We venture into the heart of the Himalayas, or the Himalayas, where a simple misstep can lead to unexpected chaos. Welcome to another episode of Mission Mojo, where mistakes, mishaps, mayhem, and misadventures take place. Our journey began with a 10-day trek through the stunning landscapes of Nepal. Accompanied by my friend June, a seasoned guide, and a hardy porter, we set off with a throng of fellow adventurers. After 2 days of walking, we reached the lively town of Namche Bazaar, where we spent 2 days acclimatizing. It was here that we caught our first breathtaking glimpse of Mount Everest.
This is our Tengiri Kitau. This is Holy Mountain. His name is Kumbiula. This is Tabuji Peak. This is over 6,000. This middle one is Mount Everest, Tabuktor, and we're gonna see Loche. This is Mamarablam, one of the most beautiful mountain. Thamserku, Kisum Kankaru, the Kongte.
While most trekkers continued toward Everest Base Camp, our small group of 4 took a different path, seeking solitude and the unbeaten trails. In the following days, we encountered only a handful of people, some locals, a Japanese couple, and one lone German hiker. It was fabulous to be just us on the mountain with the occasional local working in their fields. The porters were a marvel to behold, carrying unimaginable loads with straps around their foreheads for support. Carrying things from doors and building supplies to fridges, why they need a fridge up there, I don't know, to stacks of beer cases. These slight men wore weights from 90% to 100% of their body mass, and always with a smile. The peace, the beauty, the tranquility, and yes, the surprisingly fabulous cold beer, ice cold, straight off the shelf. One of the most memorable days was our trek to Tame, a climb of about 400 meters to an altitude of 3,800 meters. As the base camp trekkers had gone off in another direction, it left us to enjoy this magnificent beauty in solitude. We walked through fields of blossoms and rhododendrons, fewer animals around. The serenity and beauty was pure bliss. As we ascended, the donkeys that we saw lower down the trail were now replaced by yaks, the true rulers of these high-altitude paths. We arrived at this quaint village of Tame, absolutely beautiful with white stone dry walls. Reminded me a lot of Connemara in Ireland. It was like stepping into a dream. I paused with my camera to capture the beauty of the landscape, to capture these fabulous walls, white walls of dry stone, and leaning on a seemingly sturdy dry stone wall for a better angle. And then, without warning, the entire wall came tumbling down like a stack of dominoes. I was horrified and embarrassed. And looking around to see if anybody had seen me, I quickly gathered up my things and rushed back to the overnight stay, my heart pounding, feeling absolutely dreadful for what I had just done. I tried to calm my nerves with a cold beer. After an hour and a few more beers, I asked June to come with me to inspect the damage and see how we could help repair the wall. To our astonishment and absolute amazement, when we returned, the wall was already rebuilt as if nothing had ever happened. No sign of my accidental mayhem, and no sign of anybody. And it wasn't a dream. I know I knocked that wall down. The next day, we were to trek from Tawe to Kongde, a climb up to 4,250 meters. Back in Kathmandu, we had been warned that the path might be impassable due to snow and ice, and the alternative was to backtrack the way we came. In Tami, we were told that a 2-kilometer stretch of the path was not passable. An extremely fit and agile German hiker, his guide and porter, had managed it the day before. He later described it as very difficult, dangerous, and scary. He needed ropes and crampons. I would never have made it. We didn't like the idea of backtracking, so we opted for a helicopter. At the time, $1,000, and 2 minutes later, we were in Konkne. We did ask I think he was Russian pilot, if he would do a quick turnaround Everest for us to see, but he just looked at us with a stern gaze and promptly dropped us off at Kongde. As we arrived so early, we had plenty of time, so June and I went for an afternoon walk. That day, I had my first of 5 cries. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. You can ask me why I cried. Back in the hotel lodge, which happens to be one of the highest lodges in the world, with plenty of time sitting back in the lodge with a couple of beers and reading the books that were lying around, June found a book that mentioned a lake at 5,000 meters. We didn't know about this lake. We hadn't done that much research. We asked our guide, and he agreed to take us, although the lake would be frozen. He promised us a path, but there wasn't. I was very slow, sinking knee and even thigh deep into the snow. I was terrified. What was underneath the snow? Were we crossing an open crevice? Was there, what was beneath us? Was there rocks? What was there? I didn't know. I was terrified. Eventually, I gave up and I told June that she should carry on. That wasn't an option, so we all had to turn back. It was already very late and the mist had come in. We were so close. The lake was just over the ridge. We had reached 5,000 meters, but never saw that lake. I felt really bad for June. She really wanted to do it, and she would have done it on her own had I not held her back. That was the second of my cries. In the mountains, nature's balance is delicate, and yet there's an incredible resilience. This 10-day trek was through Yeti mountain homes. I'll put the detail in the description below. It was wonderful trekking for the 10 days from Yeti home to Yeti home, living in lovely accommodation with heating, food laid on, especially sitting at the accommodation at Kongde, overlooking Mount Everest. Absolutely magnificent. I thought of those base camp trekkers. They were, yes, 1,000 meters higher than us, but they were camping in the cold with minimal food, and we were living a life of luxury. It was such an incredible journey. The food, the people, the experiences, the children, the animals. There is so much that one can experience, even if you don't do the full trek and you just get as far as Namche Bazaar. This buzzing little town, so much to see and do there, so much to experience. I left my heart and 5 cries on the mountains of the Himalayas. Please subscribe to my channel. Please watch my other videos, and please share and comment. Thank you.